already know, this serves as a redirect to my blind reaction to the Talkartoon, Part 2. You can find all relevant links in the description below. The first link takes you directly to the reaction video, while the others connect you to my social media platforms, including my Discord server, Twitter, and, for good measure, my DeviantArt as well. Additionally, I've included a few polls where you can help decide the direction of future content. There's one poll to vote on the next cartoon series to replace Ninjago and another to select the anime series that will take the place of Cells at Work. Now, let's dive into the mini reviews I promised to share for each episode. The first animated short I watched was Barnacle Bill, a 1930 cartoon from Fleischer Studios and part of their Talkartoons series. This short features two iconic characters, Betty Boop, though here she's called Nancy Lee, and Bimbo, who was not yet formally named at this stage. It's a fun bit of animation trivia. In the storyline, Barnacle Bill is a sailor who has just docked at port. Without delay, he heads to Nancy Lee's house and knocks on her door. They then perform a humorous, toned-down rendition of the song Barnacle Bill the Sailor. While the lyrics are softened compared to the original, the characters still engage in a few risque activities typical of the 1930s, like drinking and smoking. The plot mirrors the song's narrative, with Barnacle Bill attempting to woo Betty, only to eventually return to the sea, leaving her behind. Overall, it was an enjoyable and entertaining short, capturing the charm of early animation and the playful spirit of its era. The second short I watched was Swing You Sinners. This cartoon, one of the darker and more surreal animations from the early 1930s, follows Bimbo as he attempts to steal a chicken late one night. His repeated efforts lead him to accidentally grab a policeman's hand instead of the chicken. Attempting to play it off casually, Bimbo walks away, only to have both the chicken and the policeman follow him. Bimbo eventually finds himself in a cemetery, where he quickly realizes it's haunted. Ghosts and other supernatural beings emerge, ominously warning him that he'll be punished for his attempted theft, no matter how much he begs for mercy or claims to have changed his ways. The rest of the cartoon shows Bimbo being chased and scolded by the eerie spirits, culminating in a surreal sequence where he enters a cave filled with monstrous beings singing about his fate. The short concludes with a giant skull devouring Bimbo. Visually, Swing You Sinners is outstanding, especially for the 1930s. Its creative animation and atmospheric style make it perfect for Halloween viewing. Unfortunately, the cartoon has never seen a proper release on DVD or VHS, nor is it available on mainstream streaming services. However, it's freely accessible on YouTube, and I highly recommend checking it out if you're a fan of classic animation. I rate it an 8/10. Now, on a side note, it's disappointing that many Fleischer Studios classics, including Swing You Sinners, remain unreleased on modern media. It would be fantastic to see this short, along with the entire Talkartoons series, compiled into a box set. It's been over 60 years since these classics were created, and many, including Betty Boop, lack a comprehensive DVD release. I understand there are copyright challenges, but if these can't be made available on streaming, at least release them physically. For fans of early animation, these are treasures worth preserving. The third short I watched is titled Grand Uproar. Set in a grand opera house, the story humorously follows a large hippo who repeatedly disrupts his fellow audience members, shuffling in and out of his seat to reach the aisle for reasons that remain unclear. As the performance progresses, the entire cast becomes so absorbed in the music that their necks extend through the ceiling during the climactic cadenzas, visually raising the roof. The musical score includes an impressive selection of pieces. Among them is the Light Cavalry Overture by Franz von Zuppi, lending a dramatic flair to the setting. The short also incorporates A Gay Caballero, a lighthearted song by Frank Crummett, originally recorded on Victor and later popularized by Billy Jones and Ernest Hare on Columbia, as well as Frank Luther on Brunswick. Crummett would go on to write sequels like The Return of the Gay Caballero. The song, beloved by animation studios, would feature in more cartoons the following year. The finale also showcases the famous sextet from Lucia de Lammermoor, a perennial choice that many studios would continue to revisit. This short is undeniably entertaining, particularly for its music, though it lacks some of the immersive animation magic seen in other musically driven works like Fantasia. While Fantasia seamlessly integrates stunning visuals with its classical soundtrack, Grand Uproar feels more like an amusing, albeit simple, backdrop to the music. The animation itself is somewhat basic, complementing the music but not standing out as particularly imaginative. Overall, I'd rate it a 7/10. It's worth watching, especially for the music, which is a true highlight. The cartoon is enjoyable, if not extraordinary, but if you're a fan of classic music and animation, you might find it delightful. The fourth cartoon I watched, Skyscraping, offers a fascinating look at early animation in the construction comedy genre. The short opens with Bimbo, now named in the title card, playing the role of a hapless, slow-moving hod carrier on a skyscraper construction site. Given the timing, it's likely inspired by the construction of the Empire State Building, which was completed in May of 1931, as both the skyscraper motif and the cartoon's timing align with that landmark project. In Skyscraping, Bimbo's work ethic is delightfully lackluster. He takes his time getting to the site, frequently tripping over bricks, and even gets passed by a snail on his way. Once he's finally working, the animation includes an early use of the walking on girders gag, where a character humorously, yet precisely, moves across precariously suspended beams, a classic gag that would become iconic in later cartoons. When the 5 o'clock whistle blows, Bimbo is the first to dash home, showing the contrast between his sluggish morning routine and his eagerness to end the day's work. This gag highlights the comedic timing and relatability of Bimbo's character, which captures the early 1930s audience's sentiments perfectly. The short's musical score adds another layer of historical interest. It features Give Yourself a Pat on the Back, a British song that had crossed over to American audiences during the Great Depression, encouraging resilience and optimism. The song was popularized in the UK by Jack Hilton on HMV and by Bobby Comer on the broadcast label. In the US, the song was covered by Phil Spitalini's orchestra on the affordable hit of the week Cardboard Records, priced at 15 cents, making it accessible during difficult times. Other versions by Billy Murray and Walter Scanlon, using the pseudonym Saunders and White, and Hal Kemp's Brunswick recording further show its popularity. Viewing Skyscraping offers a unique perspective on history, blending contemporary themes like skyscraper construction and Great Depression-era optimism. The Empire State Building reference, the innovative girder gag, and the cheer-up soundtrack offer a slice of 1930s culture through the lens of animation. I'd rate this short an 8/10 for its clever blend of humor, historical references, and catchy tunes. The fifth short I watched was Up to Mars, a surreal and highly imaginative animated piece. In this short, Bimbo and a friend attempt to set up a pyrotechnic display, but things quickly go awry, sending Bimbo hurtling to the Red Planet. The film is rich in surrealist imagery, adding a whimsical and otherworldly quality to the narrative. Notably, the short makes excellent use of the Toymaker's Dream, a piece that accompanies the military-like marching of the Martians. This piece was composed by Ernie Golden, who performed it with his orchestra for Columbia Records. It was also recorded in a popular vocal version by Vaughn de Leith on Victor Records, with numerous other house bands covering it for minor labels. The piece itself became a sort of musical template for cartoons depicting midnight in a toy shop scenarios. For its time, the animation was impressive, capturing a delightful mix of charm and innovation. The music stood out as an integral part of the short, complementing the whimsical, surreal tone. The humor in the film was also quite entertaining, and my favorite gag involved an alien robber, who pointed a gun at someone only to turn around and hand them money instead, a perfect example of the short's playful subversion of expectations. Overall, Up to Mars is a fun and memorable piece of animation that showcases both technical skill and creative flair. The sixth short I watched a partial segment of a short film titled Accordion Joe. This particular short seems to be somewhat lost to history, and unfortunately, I was only able to find one of the songs from it. In the scene, Bimbo performs a song to Betty Boop, who is dressed in a Native American costume. The animation quality was quite impressive, and the song itself was catchy and engaging. However, the song concludes with a sequence involving Native characters, which, in today's context, could be viewed as culturally insensitive. These characters chase Betty and Bimbo, and the short ends abruptly before any resolution occurs. The song itself was enjoyable, but beyond that, there wasn't much else to go on from the partial segment I viewed. If a Talkartoons DVD box set is ever released, I believe it would be worthwhile to include this short as a bonus feature, even if the full episode has not yet been uncovered. Just a suggestion in case someone from the higher-ups happens to see this video. The seventh and final short I watched is Mysterious Moe's. Before diving into the short itself and its significance in pop culture, let's take a moment to discuss the song Mysterious Moe's. This song, composed by Walter Doyle in the early 1930s, was first recorded by Ted Weems and his orchestra. In addition to its inclusion in this animated short, the song has been covered by several other notable artists and orchestras, such as Harry Reeser and his Radio All-Star Novelty Orchestra, Cliff Perrine and his orchestra, Carl Radlack and his orchestra, Rube Bloom and his Bayou Boys, and R. Crumb and his Cheap Suit Serenaders. It is widely regarded as an enjoyable tune. Now, onto the short itself. The story begins with Betty being startled awake during a stormy night. As she searches for the source of the disturbance, she begins to sing Mysterious Moe's. Suddenly, inexplicable phenomena start occurring throughout the house. The character of Mysterious Moe's, represented by Bimbo, emerges and sings part of the song. Soon, bizarre, cartoonish creatures appear, initially enhancing Moe's mysterious persona with their antics. However, the scene quickly escalates into chaos, even alarming Moe's himself. The mayhem culminates when Moe's is revealed to be an automaton, full of cogs and springs, the entire time. Overall, this short provides an entertaining experience and earns a solid 8/10 rating. Now, let's examine the song's influence in pop culture. While there are many live-action adaptations of Mysterious Moe's, I'll focus on one particularly notable animated short, Graveyard Jamboree with Mysterious Moe's, created in 1998 by filmmakers Seamus Walsh and Mark Caballero of Screen Novelties. This short film combines puppetry, stop-motion, and silhouette animation to tell the story of a supernatural creature preparing a celebration in a cemetery. The filmmakers chose to incorporate the song Mysterious Moe's, specifically the 1930 recording by Harry Reeser and his Radio All-Star Novelty Orchestra, as part of the soundtrack. Although I have yet to view this short, I plan to do so in the future. If you'd like to join me on this journey, be sure to stay subscribed to the channel for my upcoming blind reaction to Graveyard Jamboree with Mysterious Moe's when I reach it. However, I want to set expectations that it may take some time to get there. As I'm progressing through these shorts in chronological order, we are currently in the 1930s with Betty Boop, while Graveyard Jamboree with Mysterious Moe's is a 1990s creation. I'm following this order to better appreciate the development of animation and its history as a whole, so I ask for your patience as we continue this journey together. Those are my detailed thoughts on Talkartoons Part 2, which covers shorts 8 to 14. Apologies for the delay in getting this out, life had a way of getting in the way, but I'm glad to finally share my insights. You can find the link in the description below, and I recommend watching the entire redirect video first for context. A quick note, my reactions to Talkartoons Part 3 and Part 4 will each exceed an hour. I chose to divide these reactions into 4 parts instead of 5, aiming for a more balanced structure. So, I suggest you prepare some snacks, popcorn is always a great choice, and perhaps a drink. See you in the next one.